Hi, welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show. Today on the show, I have Elisabeth Muhr. She has ecology major as well as she's an engineer. So the story you'll hear about molding these two things together has to do with water is fascinating. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
I have to tell the audience a little bit that when I met you and your husband, I absolutely fell in love. I mean, I didn't quite understand the whole story with the water, but when you explained, the years that it took to find this water was so intriguing that I was hooked after that. And then when I tried the water, it was like a home run. Now I can't drink anything else. That's the hard thing.
That's the hard thing. Right.
So tell us a little bit about just sitting around the dinner table and with the family.
Right. My husband and I, we have 3 children. Mm-hmm. And we're talking now 19 years ago. And one evening I said, I'm not gonna buy any juices anymore, knowing that the sugar content, sugar causes inflammation. Right. Inflammation is the mother of all diseases. So of course I thought, okay, I'm not gonna buy that anymore. Right. And from now on we are going to drink water. So of course the children said, so what kind of water? And they are thinking of all these fancy waters. And I said, no, we are going to find the best water. And
did this just come out of the blue for you, Elisabeth?
Yes,
just all of a sudden, no juice, water.
No, yes, and it came out of frustration. Uh-huh. Frustration. What should you do? Right. And 19 years ago, people didn't know that much.
Yes.
So okay, we were trying to find the best water. But what is the best water? Right. And that started a journey where we then ended up owning our own artesian well, and it came that we basically did what other people don't do.
Right.
We first defined what was the best water you could find. What qualities should the best water have?
Can you give us a few of those?
Yeah. Yes, scientifically and not emotionally, or what people tell you or whatever.
What marketing is behind it.
Absolutely. And one thing, I think the most important thing that people can also remember is, and most of you viewers know that, is high pH. Mm-hmm. But as in nature, everything is interconnected.
Right.
And high pH has to also have, at the same time, the lowest sodium there is.
Right.
Because, as we know now, you can tinker water, you can manufacture water. So if you pour in a lot of sodium, then it
gets a high pH.
The high pH.
Exactly.
So when you look at the labels, and the labels don't require much, but because of course water has 0 calories, but it has to say how much milligrams of sodium is in the water.
Okay.
But of course, who knows if 12 milligrams is a lot or little? Basically, you want 0. Close to 0, and that's what our water has.
And most of these waters you tested that with the alkaline,
high
alkalinity had sodium?
Yes, exactly. And we, for instance, also most of the water companies don't have high naturally dissolved oxygen.
Yeah.
And they don't want it. It corrodes their pipes, it corrodes everything. That's what we wanted. So we have close to the maximum content of high oxygen in it. There are other things, you can read them up, but we created something then because, of course, we have family, and we had the Hallstein octagon where you can see all these parameters, how they work together.
And how you've evaluated all the waters and how your water is evaluated. It's all out in the public eye, where some of these water companies don't have their water reports, right?
Well, I have to, if you want to have a large water company, what do? You secure a lot of water, and then you manufacture, you engineer basically the water quality. You can do that.
Right.
What we wanted to do, we first defined what water qualities would we want to have the best, and then we hired hydrogeologists, and they told us there's one very little area in the world. We wanted to go anywhere
Right.
Very small area, which happened to be in Austria, my homeland, which is really very surprising.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be, I guess, because we've lived in the States for 36 years.
Yeah.
And we, after trying very hard, we found in 700 feet deep, we found the aquifer.
How long did that take to find that?
About 5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
Wow. And you looked at all the maps across the world.
Yes, that's the hydrogeologists.
Yes.
Gave us first a picture what geological makeup would we have to have, and that we gave them to geologists, and they found the area.
So then you go and find the water. You have to build a plant.
Yes.
To get the water up out of the...
Remember, we are only trying as a family to find the water for us.
Right.
Okay, so
it's a rather expensive proposition just for the family.
Silly hobbies.
Yeah, that was your hobby.
That was our family hobby.
Right.
And we then drank the water, and people who came to our house really liked to drink the water, and they said all the time, we don't know, but this water tastes so good and we feel so good, and can we buy it?
Yeah.
And that started to build the plant, which of course our bottling process is completely different.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I'm fascinated, because you don't pump it.
No, not at all. Not
it just comes up naturally.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do not want to disrupt the ecological balance anywhere.
Yes.
You know, that's also how we built the plant, how it fits into this pristine area where there's basically nothing in the mountains all the way. Think Sound of Music, and that's what it is.
Wow.
And we have
like pristine and pure
steel pipes. Of course, my engineering degree was that, I was...
Everything had to be like at the highest level
we hired that. And basically what we have is we have an artesian well. An artesian well means that the water comes out on its own pressure.
Right.
And what we wanted to do is we wanted to catch that water and fill it straight like that into the bottles.
Okay.
And
that's what
untouched, untreated, completely as it is, and that we wanted to get to our customers, just like that, because that's what we wanted to have, and that's what we have accomplished.
Now, a lot of people who've come to the house and asked me about the water, and people online, because I've posted about it, they're all fascinated with this water. They're all asking the question, why is it packaged in the plastic? I mean, it's an obvious answer, because it's a 5-gallon bottle of water.
Absolutely.
But plastic is a big, question mark these days.
Yes.
But what kind of plastic do you use?
Well, you see, I have to repeat again, we did it for us.
Yes.
Okay. And for us, after we have spent all this money, we would have put it in any container which we thought was the best to get the quality of the water to our home, or then to our customers. And it's not that we are not looking into other possibilities, but you have to look at the large picture of a CO2 footprint. And everybody says glass.
Well,
glass is very tricky, because glass is heavy. To recycle glass, almost up to 10% breakage. To bring it to people's homes, it is much more complicated. Yes, people think because of glass, now they have the most pristine. It's not. We have we use a plastic called Triton. And Triton doesn't seep. We have lines of tests for over years for the bottles. How does the water, come out of the artesian well? How does it arrive in Singapore? We test that, but we haven't experienced any change in the makeup of the water.
And any chemicals that have seeped into the water.
And it's not that we are not looking for other options. If there's something new comes out, maybe we find a better solution, and then that's what we're going to do.
Well, one thing that I've always been fascinated with water, and I always, when we talked, I told you I drank the mountain spring water because of all the minerals. So can you talk a little bit about, you sort of burst my bubble with the mineral content. I
very
thought,
sorry
it was
about
natural
that.
minerals and I was getting all these fabulous
Yeah.
minerals, but
Well, you have to ask yourself, why do you drink water? Okay, you
Right.
drink water mainly to hydrate,
yes,
and also to help you be more on the alkaline. You have to become
absolutely.
alkaline.
Yeah.
If you
Those are
really
the first
have
two
a
things.
mineral deficiency,
Yeah.
okay, you're
Water's
much
not the way to
better.
go.
Water is not the way to go. I
Right.
mean, you would have to drink 5 gallons. I mean, I'm exaggerating,
Yeah, I
sorry,
know.
a day. That really doesn't do anything. The
Okay.
water should be that it's in its original, natural, best state. And then it cleanses you and it hydrates you
Right.
and it helps you with your alkalinity. We have now, since we talked,
Yeah.
you're going to like this, we have some sports people, some athletes
Yeah.
who drink our water, and they really love it because with the high oxygen level, it cuts down recovery time, and it helps them after
Wow.
injuries. We also, because of the high alkalinity
Yeah.
and the low sodium, we have a doctor in New York who is like the world guru for acid reflux.
Okay.
And the only way, I mean, she tries to get people off all these medications.
Right.
But if you drink
This water.
our water, that's what
Yeah.
she recommends now, you help the acidic reflux because you have a peptide, funny enough, that keeps like your esophagus open.
Exactly.
And that also is in your mouth.
Yeah.
And it helps relieve that.
Wow.
So after, I guess, if you have
some really
like,
good things are coming out of all
so,
of this.
yes,
But you
amazing.
already, I mean, you knew that in some regard because you knew what you had found because it felt special.
It is
It
very
did. It's special. It's
It
like when
is
you drink
very
that water,
special.
you feel special.
I'm very happy. I mean, it's just incredible what opens up if you have like really the highest quality.
Yeah. Is there any water that's even close to quality standards that you've tested?
We have in our database about 2,500 waters.
Wow.
Most of them we tested, but we watched them.
Yes.
But I have to disappoint you. I mean, I'm not saying this because, I want to better us,
Right,
but there is nothing like it because all the other waters are treated and many are chemically treated.
Right.
And
Right.
that you
That
really
scares me.
don't want to deposit the chemicals in your body.
No, we're already onslaughted with too many chemicals.
Right.
That's why the purity of this is so magical.
It is.
So also what's fascinating to me is you can only service so many people in the world. Once you hit, you were telling me a certain
Yes.
12,000 or
No, 15,000
15,000 customers, you're done because
We're
you
done.
won't be.
Yes. Well, we sell the water on a subscription basis.
Yeah.
But it's pretty logical, actually. We have the artesian well, and it has a diameter, and whatever comes up, we harvest. And
Right.
it's seasonal. Of
Yeah.
course, in the spring, it's more pressure than in the winter when
right.
there's ice up on the glacier. And whatever comes out, we harvest. And it runs all year round, thank
Right.
God. But
So how can you measure something like that? Because how do you know when the well will somewhat dry
never
up?
Gonna dry.
It'll
It's
never
never
dry
gonna
up.
dry up.
Okay.
You see,
It just might
people
get slower.
think an aquifer is like a lake in 700 feet down, and whatever comes up. That's not. You wouldn't get the permits. Austria is permit heaven.
Yes.
We needed 58 permits over there to do this, and they also. They know,
Oh my Lord.
They know.
No wonder it took years.
That's why it also took years to do this. But they know exactly, from their experience, they're very good. The engineering is really good. How much water will come out. And we measured that,
Right.
over the years. And then we got the permit to harvest that.
Right.
We never applied for pumping or anything
Right.
because that would really change the
Change the
molecular
dynamic of what you're trying to do. Right. Plus, a lot of people have been asking me because it's in the 5-gallon bottles, but is there any talk about smaller size bottles being shipped out, or is that
Of course,
even
we're thinking, but
doable?
you see, the thing is, we we definitely don't want to go with these thin,
Oh, the plastic.
the plastic
Yes.
bottles, the thin plastic bottles, because they're my, my ecological soul is. I mean, I
You wouldn't
couldn't.
touch them
No,
with a 10-foot
I
pole.
just personally wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
you walk around, and it's not that people actively throw them away,
Yeah.
but they are everywhere.
I
You
know.
look behind a bush or whatever, they just
They
blow
are.
over.
I know.
And I wouldn't want to do this. I wouldn't want to contribute to this huge problem in the world of plastics everywhere. You'll see these, as we are on Facebook,
Yeah.
the seas and the turtles have the plastic bags wrapped around. I wouldn't want to contribute to that at all.
Right.
I'm
Right.
looking for, we as a family are looking for recycling to be as biologically apt as we can be.
Yeah. Oh, that's so amazing as well.
No,
Thank
but I
you
think
for doing that.
No, I think it's everybody's responsibility,
It is.
especially if you are creating a business.
Right. Right. So also tell people where they can find the water. I mean, there are not a lot of places like New York, LA.
No, we actually
where do you ship to?
we ship actually all around the world. I mean, it's
Okay.
really amazing how this thing grows. We actively don't do, large campaigns, marketing campaigns.
Right.
It grows by the word of mouth, thanks to you also. But, I
Right.
think in the long run, because we have such a superior product,
Right.
people
It
are going to
speaks for
find out.
itself.
We are on the internet,
Yeah.
and if I may say so, hallsteinwater.com.
Okay.
Hallstein is
Yes.
spelled like
Yes.
this, Hallstein, water in one word.com. You can
So anywhere in Middle America, anywhere?
everywhere in
Chicago,
America,
people
everywhere.
can
we
order.
ship
Okay.
we basically ship everywhere.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Well, I have to say, I mean, ever since I got the water in the fall, I mean, everything tastes better. I make some of my soups, the
Oh,
soup
good.
cleanse with
Your
it.
soup
I don't
cleanse.
actually let the soup cleansers have it just for myself, sadly, but because it's like I just covet it. And I feel like my skin is better. Just really
It is.
everything about my digestion is better. Like there's so many things about it. Same with my fiance. He has some heart issues and some, digestive issues, and everything seems better with drinking this water.
That makes me very happy.
I am, very impressed, and I give it 2 thumbs up all the way.
Thank you.
So I'm glad to hear that it is everywhere.
Everywhere.
I thought
yes,
it was.
we do. We bottle everything right at the plant. No sunlight touches those bottles.
I know,
and
that's another thing that's so brilliant.
We wrap them in recycled cardboard.
Right.
And we put them on we put these boxes on pallets, and we ship them to nodes.
Yeah.
Actually now all over the world. And from there it's being delivered once a month because to your home.
Right.
Because we ship the water on subscription.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
Well, if anybody wants to really up the ante on their health in every way, I mean, I'm always saying, sleep is one of those cheapest health-oriented things to do, which none of us get enough of. But water is right there with the sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep and water.
It's,
they're just,
One thing I really want to stress, because, and also with you and your viewers, because they're going to understand that the water market is actually regulated by the government.
Okay.
And it's regulated what can be in the water. But it's not a consumer-oriented regulation. It's regulated for the water producer.
Okay.
And that we found out. And one of our missions is that people understand that, and that they require the government to make tighter regulations.
Right.
Because what we drink out of the tap and I'm sorry, that's one of the things that's very important to me, is that people start understanding quality of water.
Right, right. And understanding that the chemicals in the water are really wreaking
Really.
havoc with our health.
Yes,
I mean,
they
they
do.
are depleting minerals, and they are, you know, taking, I mean,
Yes.
decreasing bone density and digestion. I mean, it is, and causing cancer. So,
Absolutely.
to the bottom line, I mean,
Bottom line, it's the sugar, mother of inflammation, and paired with these chemicals,
Chemicals.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't touch that with a 9-foot pole,
I
as we
know.
say in America.
Well, I love knowing you, first of all.
Thank you, same
And
here.
thank you for
Alyssa.
producing and finding, or not really producing, but finding this fabulous magical
most
water.
Thank
And thank you for being on my show. And I can't wait to spread the word
Anytime.
even more. So thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.